Everyone wants that explosive first step that leaves the defense holding on to their shorts. Hidden among the details of your first step and first dribble are secrets that can pack serious punch into your game. Understanding and applying even one of these techniques will give you a quicker first step. Mastering them all will allow you to maximize your physical abilities and make you the most explosive player you can be. The first step to becoming quicker is to make sure your mechanics are efficient. To do this, we must break your motion down step by step so that you can correct any wasteful movements that might slow you down. Most of this chapter is explained in terms of an open step and a cross step. Let's define them first. If you drive in the direction of your attack foot and leave your body open to the defender, it's an open step. But if your attack foot crosses your pivot foot, it's a cross step. Now, let's first examine the open step. From triple attack position, rip the ball quickly to your hip and prepare to open step. Make sure that you've rotated the ball, dribbling hand on top and your other hand underneath. The reason for moving the ball to your hip is that before you go by the defense, you want to hide and protect the ball by putting part of your body between the ball and the defender. This is called keeping your game tight. Defenders will be reaching in and hacking at the ball. You want to be strong, tight, and compact. From here, you're ready to time the first step and dribble together. This means your foot and the ball hit the ground at the same time. This ensures that the ball is being dribbled before the pivot foot leaves the ground. Put yourself in the official's shoes. Referees must make a split-second decision, and I've always believed that it's made not on what they see, but what they think they see. And when they see your first step and the ball hitting the ground at the same time, they know your pivot foot has not left the ground too early. So, time the first step and dribble together to ensure a legal move and no travel calls. Place the dribble outside of your foot for two reasons. First, you don't want to dribble off your toes. Second, with the ball on the outside of the leg, it's farther from the defender and your leg is being used for added protection. Reach out with your non-dribbling hand, your inside arm, as if you're going to shake hands with someone. I'll explain why later in this chapter. Now, let's take a look at the cross step. Again, rotate the ball on the way to the other hip so that your dribbling hand, in this case the left hand, is on top of the ball. As your attack foot crosses over your pivot foot, again, time the ball hitting the floor with your foot hitting the ground. Reach out and shake hands with the inside arm. We'll turn this movement into one smooth motion that slices like a knife. But first, let's maximize your quickness and explosiveness by improving your biomechanics. I've spent a lot of time talking with the best speed people in the world. Speed, quickness, and explosion are not just about who has the strongest muscles. They're also about using the movements that best allow you to maximize your quickness. You must recruit the right muscles with the right movements to reach your explosion potential. Let's apply this science to your first two steps. To start, let's take a look at the open step. The leg that you're pivoting with will initiate the first explosion. This is the foot opposite the direction you want to go. Your hip, quads, and calf all come into play, but the most explosive muscles are located in your glutes. Bending your knees is not enough to recruit your glutes. Your hips must be bent as well, just like you saw in triple attack. In addition, your knee should be over the ball of your foot, and to push off at an angle, the line of your knee must be slightly on the inside of your foot. How your first step hits the ground is crucial in determining how explosive your first two steps are. Let's look at two principles. First, don't step heel to toe. If the only part of your foot to hit the ground is the ball of your foot, you'll immediately explode into your second step. Think of it like the difference between a jogger who runs heel-toe and a sprinter who stays on the balls of his feet. Second, your foot should hit the floor directly below or behind the line of your knee. In other words, your shin should be at an angle of less than 90 degrees with the floor. This, combined with your chest stuck out and your head over your knee, allows you to recruit the glutes a second time. Now, when players cross-step, they don't seem to have a problem with these mechanics. The shin strikes the ground at the correct angle, and with the head over the knee, the glutes are recruited for maximum explosion. But problems seem to occur with the open step. Many players are so eager to beat their defender with that first step that they take a really long stride to get completely by their man. And the longer the step gets, the slower the rest of the move becomes. No amount of practice will make it better. You must first understand what you're doing wrong before you can fix it. Let's look at why you slow yourself down with an extremely long open step. When you take a long first step and your foot hits the ground in front of your knee, the shin forms an angle greater than 90 degrees with the ground. Your glutes are not recruited as your heel hits the ground first. In fact, this is actually the motion you'll use to stop, not to explode by your defender. So to compensate, your hamstrings must now pull your body forward until your weight is back to being over your knee, the point where your glutes and quads can be used. Your hamstring is weak and slow, and you even stand a chance of hurting it when you ask it to pull your body forward in this manner. So, to get the most out of your open step, shorten it slightly. Strike the ground with the ball of your foot and get your head and chest over your knee with your shin angled less than 90 degrees with the ground. Now you'll recruit your glutes for maximum explosion. It's a well-known fact in track that sprinters use their arms to explode out of the blocks. In the same fashion, I want you to use your arms and the added weight of the ball to explode in your first step past the defender. When you're creating momentum, using your arms and a 1.5-pound ball can make the difference, and that's our third explosion factor. You learned in the first section of this chapter to bring the ball from your shot pocket to your hip. Then in a separate movement, you learned to time your step and dribble together. The purpose of this section is to blend those two steps into one aggressive, momentum-gaining motion. Your feet cannot move any quicker than you can move the ball from your shot pocket or the top of your shot fake into the first dribble. To visualize this, think about painting the letter C with the ball. When you circle tight and use a violent rip into your first dribble, it will help shift your center of gravity and get you quickly into your first step. This is the very definition of being ball quick. Now, when you blend this small circle movement of the ball with a head and shoulder fake, you get the best of both worlds. A more effective fake in one direction combined with a more explosive drive in the other direction. In a similar manner, the ball can be used to gain momentum when you're sweeping the floor and using the ball to punch your way past the defender. But I'll cover this in Chapter 4 when we look at how to handle extreme defensive pressure. To V or not to V? That is the question. The answer is that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. And so choosing a straight line instead of a longer, curved line is the quickest way to get where you want to go. The battle between you and your defender can be looked at as this battle between the V and the U. Here's what I mean. Go by the defender, not around him. If you control the space and go by him, your lines of attack form the letter V. If you go around him, then your lines of attack form a U. The defender wants you to drive in a U. This slows you down and gives him a chance to recover and his teammates a chance to help. The V is quicker and leaves little chance for your defender to recover. Now, you must protect the ball, eat up the space between you and the defender, and stay on a V line of attack. Let's take a look at the technique. When we were learning the proper mechanics of the first step, I told you to time your dribble and step together and reach through with the inside arm as if to shake hands. Shooting the inside arm past your defender is another way to use your arms like a sprinter. It helps to shift your weight and momentum and assist the explosion. Watch it being done going right with an open step and a cross step. Now going left, open step and cross step. To control the space and stay on your V line of attack, imagine that the only door to go by your defender is here. The lock on the door is located at his hip, and the key to open it is your inside arm and shoulder. So reach through the keyhole and shake hands on the other side. Control the space as you go by. Brush his hip with your arm and shoulder to make sure you're eating up the space. Now you're guaranteed to be taking the most direct line to the basket. The emphasis in phase 1 is proper mechanics. Protect the ball by ripping it to your hip and eliminate the travel call by timing the dribble and the first step together. We're also going to train both feet as pivot feet with the ability to open or cross step with either foot. First, the left foot as your pivot foot. Ready? Right hip, open. Left hip, cross. Now the right foot is your pivot foot. Ready? Right hip, cross. Left hip, open. Add the shot fake. Left foot, pivot foot. Shot fake. Right hip, open. Shot fake. Left hip, cross. The emphasis in phase 2 is moving these pieces into one smooth motion without eliciting a traveling call from the officials. We're not looking for speed and explosion yet, just a coordinated, natural motion that keeps the ball tight and the player balanced. Left foot, pivot foot. Open. Cross. Right foot, pivot foot. Cross. Open. Now, let's add the shot fake and alternate going right and left on my command. I'm looking for a slow shot fake up, then back down to your hip and into your first dribble with one smooth motion. Take your time. Shot fake. Shot fake. It's time to pack some dynamite into your game. The emphasis in phase 3 is speed and explosion. I'm looking for you to circle the ball tight in the letter C and rip the ball into your first dribble. Choose either foot as a pivot foot and alternate going right, then left on my command. Go. Go. Now, let's add the shot fake to it. Remember, slow shot fake, but quick rip. Go. Go. To incorporate all the explosion techniques from this chapter, use a dummy defender and someone to shake hands behind the defender. On either side of the defender are cones to keep your lines of attack tight, to V the defender. The emphasis in phase 4 is to put it all together. Circle tight and use the ball for momentum. Recruit the glutes with the right mechanics, and V the defender with a handshake. You can always replace the dummy defender with a chair, and you can even train by yourself by shaking hands with a second chair. Now that you've learned proper technique, let's see how you can build these habits into your game, step by step, starting from the beginning.